Hey everybody, Lawrence here with 30 Basement Terrain, coming at you with another one. Kept seeing this little ad here showing up on my Facebook feed. Next Level Miniatures. I've never heard of them, me personally. I was like, this has got to be a bit of I never ordered, and I've been seeing this ad for over and over and over again. But I never ordered because I just don't trust ordering off of a Facebook ad or any link from a Facebook ad. But it did put them into the back of my head. Now, recently I was ordering some stuff, paints, a few other oddball things. I went to check out the miniature section of Miniature Market, and then I noticed it's like they have Next Level Miniatures. It's like, oh, that one from the Facebook ad. I guess they are legit. So clicked on them, checked them out. I was like, these don't look too bad, at least in the pictures. So I was like, oh, the price is really cheap, anywhere from $1.49 to $16.99. $16.99 was for this big dragon, or Dracolich. So I ordered a bunch. They came a few days later, and I was actually really surprised with how they looked. They look, I would say, as good, if not slightly better, just a hair better than the Reaper Bones miniatures. Same kind of material. They say you don't have to prime them, but I did anyway. So, definitely worth checking out. If you're a gamer on a budget, a tight budget, and you don't have a 3D printer or easy access to a 3D printer, these Next Level Miniatures are a definite option. They're cheap, they look pretty good for as cheap as they are, and they're budget friendly, like I said. So, before I get to the video itself, I want to give a big thank you to my patrons, Dungeon Matron and Quarrel. You guys' help is greatly appreciated. I can't say thank you enough. All right, let's get to it. Not sure how they come from actual Next Level Miniatures, but this is how they come from Miniature Market. There's no blister packs. Some of the smaller ones come in baggies and multi-part ones, but and here I'm just looking at all where the injection molding, it needs to come off, and there's going to be some cleanup involved, and for the blowout holes where they let the air escape for the molds, but all in all, these aren't too bad. Yeah, there's some mold lines on the ones I'm looking at, but that's with any miniature. You're going to have some cleanup involved. Now, I like to put them on round bases, so it's just a quick super glue, just put the miniature down, move on to the next one. Not that hard. Now, I like to I'm putting sand and I have a sand and grit mixture that I'm putting on the bases here because I want them to match my terrain. So I need to get a little bit of texture on these bases. Pretty simple. PVA, glue it on, and then I'll stick it into my little sand and grit container here, swirl it around, tap it off, done. Easy. Of course, priming. It's cold. I don't want to go outside, haul everything out of the basement. So I'm going to prime with an airbrush. You can use a rattle can if you want. I just prefer the airbrush because I don't have to go outside. Pretty simple. Just a straight flat black. I'm using Vallejo. I think it's Vallejo. Yep, Vallejo matte black. Now I'm going to do some zenithal highlighting. It's pretty simple. Again, I'm using Vallejo gray surface primer just to give it highlights up at an angle. And of course, I'm going to keep on using my airbrush because, like I said before, I don't want it to have to rattle can it outside. And then finally, I'll give it its final highlight. This is all zenithal. Zenithal highlight with some white from straight above and a very, very sharp angle. This will just give me the shadows and whatnot for the next steps. I'm not a miniature painter, so with all these, with the advent of the Speed Paint 2.0, the Express Color, and the contrast paints, it makes my life easy. And if you zenithal highlight or do the slap chop, straight up slap chop, it makes using all these different paints a lot easier. But again, I'm just picking whatever colors I think may look good at the time. It's up to you. I felt like blue, green, pink, browns. Look, if you want to do a neon pink ogre, go for it. But it may look a little weird, but as long as it's your miniature and you're what you want. I'm actually really happy with how these miniatures are turning out. Because for the price I paid, I was actually really shocked that they looked as good as they did. Like I said, these 4 miniatures that I'm painting were $1.50 each. Well, normally if I go into a brick and mortar store, if or not necessarily a brick and mortar store, but another manufacturer, I would be paying 2, 3, and 4 times the price for these miniatures. But again, this is strictly using for the main part. I was using the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 for this, and I used some of the contrast. I did not use any of the Express Color for this time around, but it is another option that I have on my crafting table. Finally remembered I had one of those stupid little silicone rubber pop-it fidget things. I was actually using this to make mushrooms, but then I saw other people using them for paint trays, and I put it on the table. It's like, yeah, using one of these little things
makes it easy for doing paints real quick. And the cleanup is so much easier than, like, say, using a hard plastic one like you can get at Dollar Tree. And it's just easy. Because once the paint dries up overnight, you just turn around, pop it, and the paint comes right off. Oh, the glory of silicone. Of course, now that I got most of the miniature painted, or most miniatures mostly painted, I'm going to the base. And like I said, I wanted this to match my terrain as much as possible, so I'm using the same craft colors for the base. Dark brown, medium brown, light brown, the trilogy type of thing. But again, I do this because I always do something with the base, even if it is something as simple as like what I did, sand. It just gives it something extra. And for these, I want them to match the majority of my terrain, at least. So, use the dark brown, like I'm doing right here, and then I'll do an overbrush of a medium brown, and then a quick dry brush of light brown. Of course, I hit the wrong button and took a photo of the process of me doing flocking. But that was just a matter of brushing on some watered down PVA and then sprinkling on a couple different colors of fine flock, like I do in my terrain videos. Pretty simple. And then I added a few tufts of grass. Here I just want you to see the quality of some of the miniatures that I actually did order. I mean, you can see there's detail there. I mean, here's an Ogre Chieftain. Looks really good for, the price. An Air Elemental. You can see it needs cleaned up yet, but it's there. A lot of these they have the detail. Again, not like, say, GW level, a mummy here. But once they're painted up, they'll look good. This one looks like Iron Maiden, but whatever. Some of them, the faces are a little bit but all in all, for the price you paid, you're getting some really nice minis. And they're really spot on with their goblin heads. The goblins look great. And of course, a little intellect devourer here. And some of the character models just look really, really good. Yeah, of course, I finally got a Mimic. And here's a cool little monk character, an elven sorcerer. But these are just examples of what you can get. And of course, the final product, the painted ones that I did, as you can see, I flocked and did some grass tufts on the bases. But for $1.49 each, after they're painted up, they look fantastic. I think that, for my level of painting that I cared to do, they look fantastic. Of course, I did some highlighting after the speed paints, but it looks great. At least I think it does.
Hey everyone, if you made it this far, you made it to the end, you watched to the end, and as always, I do appreciate it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, click subscribe. There are links down below to Patreon, Discord, Amazon wishlist if you want to help the channel out any. Again, guys, Next Level Miniatures, I will be ordering from them because they're cheap, they look good. What else I can say about them? They're going to be good. For what the price they are, they look really good. And they've got a really good selection. And they're putting out more Kickstarters, so their selection is just going to grow and grow and grow. So check out their website, link it down below, and you'll be surprised by how much they have and by the quality. As always, guys, when you're making your terrain or painting your miniatures, the only person you got to worry about is you, because it's your terrain and miniatures.